So this is how it's gonna go. You're gonna stay up one more hour, then you're gonna go to bed. Welcome to Cubfidential, the best late night Chicago Cubs coverage around. I am your producer, the convicted felon, Denzel Snipes, and we actually have a pretty good show going on today. Our QB1, JB Ellis had to take a night off, so we got our QB2 in. He's the Rocky Mountain Rebel. This is condescending Jordan Osweiler Long. Come on in here.
Hey, Jay. At least you didn't call me, Paxton Lynch. It could be worse. It could be Paxton Lynch or Drew Lock. So I'm fine with Brock Osweiler.
Could be either or. Osweiler did help the Broncos to a Super Bowl, so there's that.
That is true. And then when he came back, he wasn't the same quarterback. But of course, we're here to talk Cubs baseball. But at least they got a win tonight, so that's kind of nice going into the show with a 9-3 victory. But
absolutely,
it hasn't been the best of the week for the Cubs, and I will have a little bit of a rant in one of the games we played with St. Louis. So be prepared for that.
Oh, can't wait. Gonna have a bit of a roundtable show for everybody. So let's go ahead and kick it off.
So welcome to End of Cubfidential. We are the best late Cubs coverage. Of course, I just said it hasn't been the best week for our Cubs. We got one win in Toronto and got swept by the Cardinals. But hey, you know what? We have a great show lined up for you. So let's bring in Jacob Christner and Jennifer Matthews-Lewis onto the show.
What's going on?
What up, Pundit? What up, Osweiler?
Hey.
I know, right?
Just think of convicted felon. I mean, in about 20 states right now, he can get out without bail.
That's true.
Just don't try to vote in Florida.
No, that's true.
Even if you have permission.
Yeah, right.
So, of course, it hasn't been the best week for our beloved Cubs. Of course, we knew it was going to be a great season, but let's start with the Toronto series. 1 win out of 3. I mean, it just... Toronto's a good team, don't get me wrong. They're in contention for the wild card, but are we happy that we won 1 of 3 games against a powerhouse like Toronto? I'm calling them a powerhouse because they're in the playoffs. They're not like, a World Series team, but they're in the playoffs. They do have some great talent with Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette. I mean, are we happy we won 1 game?
No.
No, the issue is it's when you get down to this late in the year, you start to understand why you're losing. I mean, hypothetical numbers. I'm just saying the 3-2 games, the close games, 5th, 6th, 7th innings, those ones we have second and third, first and second or first and thirds, and you're not contributing, you're not scoring, you're not doing anything. It's just been all year. At this point in time, you're understanding why you're 22 under 500.
Well, if you look at Monday's game, we were ahead 4-0.
Yeah.
And yet we blew it. But the one thing, and we've talked about this, it's our bullpen. But you look at our
I've been saying that all year.
Yes, you have. Our pitching, if you look at it, our starting pitcher, Assad, pitched 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, taken out after 80 pitches. Why?
What do you think? I've told you he gets his pitchers on Amazon, puts them in keeps the bubble wrap on them.
Well, this is my question at this point in time. Who's actually making all the play calls?
It has to be Ross.
It's got to be Ross. I hate to
We
say
that, but is he getting directive from up above?
It does make you wonder, but really
so Jerry
truly,
Jones is running
because he played the game, he knows not to mess it up, but yet he continually does that.
Well, no, the thing about it is, it feels like that Jerry Jones running the Cubs the way that sounds, but with the directive, but it's like the biggest issue I have by itself is the fact that let's just say I believe this is his last year, thank God, but will he go to another team and be, and actually do what he should have done in the first place, either be a hitting coach or go to the minors, try to manage there, do what he should have done in the first place.
He'll go to another team. He's not going to go to the minors. He's been an
MLB
coach
would he
for
be
too
like?
long. It's not like an NFL coach going back to college rule.
Yeah,
but
would he be a third base? What I was asking is, would he be like a third base? Just something that would get him. It's something he should have started in the first place. You got to start somewhere.
We do see that happen a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe.
The only
But
thing,
would
the
his
only,
ego let him?
the only issue I have with, saying we're going to let him go, and of course, this is all hearsay, is that Jed Hoyer, of course, I haven't been a huge advocate of him since he's taken over for Theo Epstein, is he says he's not going to fire Ross, but is he really not going to fire Ross, or is he just saying that so the Ricketts family can say, oh, we're not going to fire Ross, but when they really are going to fire Ross at the end of the season?
See, you got to realize now there's Joe Girardi in the, Joe Girardi, in the booth at that point in time. We were talking about that a couple of weeks ago. And it's like, not sure about him. It would definitely be better than Ross, but it's like, what's he going to do in the playoffs? I always think of that part too. But it's like, are they doing that than they were?
We need a guy who can rebuild the team right now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Joe Girardi is that guy.
I agree. I don't think he's that guy.
He keeps going to because Joe Girardi, when he goes, he keeps going to teams that are pretty loaded and they kind of sink.
Right.
Well, still sticking with the Toronto series, Tuesday, a very close game, another loss, 5-3. Again, these are just frustrating losses. You look at it, 5-3 loss. We probably could have won. And offensively, 3 hits for the Cubs. That's not going to get the job done.
No.
Well,
not at all.
And absolutely not. And you got to remember one of the wins. Remember that Milwaukee series? One of the wins was Ian Happ's had all the hits.
That's true. You're right.
They've been doing that all year, and it's like, think about this for a second. This happens with every single team. You had 42-win Detroit some years ago, like 2008 or something. Like 42 wins with the Trammell, and they had the absolute worst one-run record. The absolute worst one-run record, which means they were that close that many times. So it's just like it doesn't mean you don't score runs, doesn't mean your pitching doesn't do it in the moment. It's just you're not getting the situational hitting. You're not getting situational pitching. That's what happens with bad teams.
And then I'm going to point this out to, as we call it, a Ross loss. 5 innings pitched by Stroman. I was actually impressed with Stroman's last 2 outings. He gave up 3 hits, 1 run, and it was earned 2 walks, 1 strikeout. Again, taken out of 88 pitches. At least let him go into the 6th, 7th inning. He was not struggling in that point. I just don't understand Ross. And I think it's also because, and we've talked about this, he needs to go down to the minors or at least a different team. Even being a third base coach or first base coach, bench coach, just understanding how to manage a game. He doesn't get it.
Right.
Well,
here's the thing. Morel and Stroman were both the top performers in that game. I won't talk about who the one person was for the Blue Jays, but they were the top performers. So again, why are we doing the Ross loss when? And I like that, by the way. Y'all need to coin that phrase. And I feel like you came up with that, Jacob. I don't know why. I just do. But but it makes no freaking sense.
It really doesn't. It's frustrating.
Well, and that's what's frustrating me, because it's like I'm trying really hard to look at the positive of all things, but I see stupid elementary mistakes, and I'm like, I don't know much about baseball at all, or like to the level that they do. Yeah. But I would do better.
Well, people, here's the thing, though. People have been asking me actually lately, and just be able to talk when I have a conversation. We brought up about a week ago about the possibility of Ohtani and all that stuff, being a Cub and all that. People wonder why I'm so, even though I said I would not complain if he came in, but I'm a little skittish. Part of a reason is we say Ross is gone for next year. If he does not, if I'm wrong and he is back, do we want to see Ohtani taken out after 4 2/3? Because that would happen.
That's a great question. I don't know. I mean, it depends on how well he's pitching too. And I like Ohtani, but
Ross,
would we really want him?
Here's the thing: Ross learned from Madden, and darn good and well he would take him out in 4 2/3 so he can send back to the outfield in a stupid thing and lose an extra player. And
Jacob, you just said it.
Huh?
You just gave me an epiphany.
What's that?
You just said it. He learned from Madden. Madden isn't the manager to go in and build the team, right? Like we all know that. He's the person to come in and elevate the team that had already been built with the talent and take them to the World Series, right? He's not one to coach the team up to World Series caliber. That's the issue. Ross learned from Madden, and that's how Madden does it. Because remember, Ross just got that contract extension with the option through 2025.
Ugh. But see, those are the things. It's like you get yourself if you get yourself a uber star, like any of these, a judge, Tanya, you get anything. We'll get one of those things, but it's like people have to realize now. Let's just say Ohtani would do it. He is a pitcher also, which means he gets hurt, and we get the injuries like the Mad Dog with this guy. He gets hurt. We lose 2 positions with one guy.
That's true.
That's a huge difference. It's not just one and go call somebody else up. Now it's 2, because you lose the left fielder also. Now you got to call something. It is a rough situation. Those are the things. And the thing is, and I was talking about this with Hendricks. The guy who literally throws 86 and has perfect form is now hurt because I'm not going to say it's all Ross, but how does he all of a sudden tear something? All of a sudden, it's like,
doesn't it make you go,
Are we over? This is what I keep saying with the thing, like with a pundit and whatever. How are we overprotecting everybody? And that's what Ross does. He overprotects everybody.
I think so. I would agree with that.
Yeah,
so then,
because he knows the injuries that could come about. That's a good point too.
Well, going back to your Madden point, I agree with you, Jen, because he took a team, the Angels, who does have Ohtani, who has Mike Trout, and what has happened? They fired him because he couldn't get the results there. So yeah, I would agree with your assessment of Joe Madden.
You know what movie? You want to know what movie David Ross would be perfect for? The Boy in the Bubble. With
okay, yeah.
The Boy in the Bubble. He just bring all the pictures out in the bubble, and it's like you get a couple pictures. Okay, come out now. Wouldn't let him see air. Wouldn't let him.
A new movie by Jacob Christner, the Pundits Pundit, and T.J. Sanders.
Yeah, but Boy
Can I be your manager?
Right.
So going back to the Toronto series, the last game was Wednesday. We won 7-5. We actually took a 5-0 lead into the bottom of the third. And then basically we almost tried to give it away. We gave up we gave up 5 runs, but we won 7-5. But in that game in particular, it could have been a Ross loss. What is with him in using the bullpen pitchers? I don't get it. And we've talked about this. 7 bullpen arms used.
Could it also be because there's no option for the playoffs whatsoever? So he's getting other players an opportunity to be on the national stage.
There's one thing that we never put into. You're right. And it's like there's one thing we never put into consideration with why all these players get there. We always hear about the big names and their options and what's on those contracts. We don't hear about the little ones.
No,
right.
We don't hear that there might be a 120 inning clause for the or whatever for the for the middle reliever. It might be for him that we may never hear it, that he's trying to get him his money. He's trying to get his pay. He's trying to get that. Okay, this might be the last of his contract, and he might be trying to get him for his other team. And it's out of the thing. I mean, David Ross is a nice guy. There isn't a question. Everybody, there's been pulled. I'm just saying. What? What?
Nothing.
What are you talking about?
There you go.
Okay. That. Yeah.
Yeah, I promise I will not do that, Denzel.
Hey, my career's over if you do that. But no, as I said, Ross is a nice guy. That people never doubted. So you could see him with a middle reliever, reliever, everything like that, with a 30-some-odd-year-old that's trying to get themselves one more contract. You could see him doing that.
Your furnaces are distracting me. I'm sorry, gentlemen.
My what?
Your furnaces.
Oh, I want to see the Furnaces. I want to see the Furnaces.
You want to see the Furnaces?
Yes, I do.
I already told Jordan they might make a special appearance.
Oh,
which is all good.
Which is all good. Trust me. Yeah.
They're like, Mommy, you've been on your computer too long tonight.
They're the better cameo than Trump on Home Alone.
There you go. So we're going to move on, as the dogs are going to make a cameo, to the St. Louis series. And we know how good St. Louis is. And there you go.
That face.
Do you see Jordan and Jacob?
Oh, hello, puppy.
She's like, Mommy, let me down.
Big
she did
pause.
not like how I was holding her.
Big pause.
Sorry.
So in the St. Louis series, I mean, it didn't go our way. I mean, there's not much to talk about in the first game. 8-0. I mean, that's just bad. 7 hits is all we can muster. 7. That just tells me the offense was absolutely abysmal. And we only had, 9 strikeouts.
Does it have to?
Go Jordan.
Yeah, do I have to keep repeating myself over and over the years, whether it's the Packers or the Cardinals or anything, that the teams that we're supposed to hate are the most consistent?
That seems to be. I mean, I'm a Broncos fan, and since 2015. That Carrie Johnson, who, if you guys don't know, she's part of the Three Chicks in the Pod. She's part of our NFL carousel.
Yes.
She's not
allowed to comment on the Red series, by the way.
Fair enough. Her team has had the upper hand. Why? Because they have the better players. The Broncos can't rebuild, although hopefully this year
they have the better coach.
That's true too.
Yes.
And they don't keep consistently firing their coaches like the Broncos. Luckily this year, maybe I have a chance with a quarterback, but still, I still have to give the upper hand to the Kansas City Chiefs. But like you're saying, the consistent teams, what do they have? They have a manager. They have batting. They have talent.
This is the 40th year since 1982 for the Cardinals. 32 winning seasons. 8 not to be the 18th division title. They've been to 4 World Series in that time, won 2 of them. I mean, it has to have been, I think, like 12 or 13 NLCS. Just absurd numbers year after year. So, yes, am I happy the Cubs got that World Series? Oh, great. That is awesome. Do not get that wrong, but it's over and over and over. You get down to this late, and they're going to kick the crap out of us.
Right. Well, they're playing for something. They're playing for the division title. They are in the wild card race. I mean, it's just them and the Brewers at this point. So what do they want to do? They want to kick the crap out of us.
Yeah, well, they do this all the time.
Right.
They're doing it all. And it's like, and it's one of these things where it's like, this is where I get with the fans. It's like, whether it's Tomlin or it's with Cardinal fans, I'll see Cardinals fans. I get drives me nuts with them too. It's like, this guy sucks. It's like, you've got how many years in a row when you're in the picture. I'm just saying, it's whatever the deal is, you're in the picture. It's like you are spoiled. You are entitled punks. You're acting like this. Do you know how us Cubs fans would love to be 40 years, 32 out of 40 years in the picture?
I would love that.
Oh, I mean, even if you're 83 wins, 84, and you're mad at 84 wins because next year will be 92. Every year you're there.
I would totally take that. I mean, when was the last time the Cubs won 100 games? I can't even remember.
No, they won it in 2016.
Oh, that was right. You're right. 2016. I kind of forget that year only because we did win the World Series, so I forgot what our record was. I believe it was the best in baseball, too.
Yeah, I know. It was 103, but it was like, no, it was 103, and it's like that was that, but it's like then the last time after that was like 1935 or something. You know, it's like these are the things we talk about, these Cardinals, and it's like, get down to September and it's like, we're lucky to be able to get to the 2-0 loss we had in the last game because of Albert Pujols.
Which I will get to in a minute, because I do have a little bit of a rant about that. But then Saturday, we lost 8-4, but the old saying is good teams find ways to win, bad teams find ways to lose. Well, we took a 3-0 lead in the first. Then with Reyes singled and Suzuki scored, then Ortega singled, scored half. Then we gave up 8 straight runs with a 6th spot in the third. Then we added a run in the 5th. But it's, again, we're a bad team, so of course we were going to lose. But the thing that, again, we're overdoing our bullpen. I know this is a theme tonight, but we overworked our bullpen. 5 pitchers combined to finish the game, pitched 5.2 innings. Well, Smiley only lasted 2.1 innings. That I understood. He gave up 5 hits, 7 runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. So, and 3 home runs.
He could give up no runs and 2 hits and have a 2 2/3.
Right.
With the Ross.
Do you think they're just trying to tank to get a better pick?
They could be, but there's so many worse teams than us right now that it's really hard for us to continue to tank. Because I think
is it though? Because you're doing a really good job of it.
They had such an odd winning streak though after the All-Star break, where it was like now you remember when I brought this part up and where I was wrong on it, where it was like I didn't think they were going to a playoff or anything. I was saying you got to get the better number, got to get the better type of record, a more respectable record for the bigger names, but. They had such an odd one where it's like, if they were going to do it, we were saying, okay, you're barely going to win 60. Well, then they get this odd winning streak.
True. Right. But if you're looking at the standings, the Pirates are worse. The Reds are worse. Nationals are the worst team in all of baseball. And then you have the Athletics. So it's really hard. If we want a higher draft pick, we got to continue to tank. But then you're looking at those teams and it's just not going to work because those teams are worse than us. I mean, the Athletics can only have 2,000 fans at their ballpark.
You want to know who would be, and I'm just saying this as far as the next year thing for the Cubs. You want to know who I would really love to give this a real shot, not Miami, but for a GM, Kim Ng from Miami.
Not a bad pick.
And I'm going to say the reasoning is I am going to give her a mulligan when she's gone from Miami. They have no chance of anything, no matter what she does. This doesn't give her a shot.
That was the dogs.
What?
That's the dogs chewing on a metal table, Goober.
Yeah. She farted over the idea of Kim Ng.
Yeah, exactly.
No. But the thing is, I'm going to give her I am going to absolutely give her a mulligan on this. They had 67 wins in her first year. It's going to be under that this year. She's never going to have herself a chance with that ownership, with that anything to ever do anything. And it's like, that's why I didn't want her in Miami in the first place and her be the first, because this is during a time of political strife. And we have to have everything, the first of a woman, the first of all this. It's not right. And it's like, it wasn't the right position. You put her in Miami, which is a terrible organization. Okay, if it was the White Sox, I'd be more proud. She started there 30 years ago. So why not the Cubs? The Cubs have won closer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's not a bad idea.
It's not.
But that all depends on what the Ricketts family wants to do. And I hate bringing that up, but what do they really want to do? I have.
Well, see, at least the Ricketts family has won a World Series. As much as I'm not the biggest fan of them, at least they've done that.
They won it, and then they dismantled the team.
They also got scared of their money because of COVID.
Well, and we also the next year went to the NLCS.
Run a business in fear.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
It's the freaking Cubs.
Yeah. But we also went to the NLCS the next year. Sure, we lost to the Dodgers, but we went that far. And
yeah.
But the thing, and even JB was talking about this, they're going to continue to get money because why? People want to go to Wrigley Field. They want to see the historic ballpark, want to see a game there. How do you stop fans from going?
No, but the thing is, like I was bringing with that, though, is like, it's like I am going to bring this part. I'm going to be the first and the only for right now until everybody else starts following me later. What it seems to happen with Justin Fields, with what's going on there. I'm saying this. Why not her? Why not her? It's like she does not stand a chance in Miami. She has been in baseball since 1990. She knows how the game is run. Get her an organization that'll give her something.
She's a woman in Florida. Of course, she doesn't stand a chance in Florida.
Well, I'm talking about Miami. She'd do better with the Miami Dolphins. She would do the Marlins.
Would she? Because they were probably really dumb in how they fired.
Yeah, but I'm just saying she'd do better with the Dolphins than the Marlins. The Marlins are just a miserable team. But I'm saying Chicago would give her a chance, whether it's the White Sox or the Cubs. They would give her the tools. They would give her everything. She'd have a shot. And it's like, and this is a chance. The reason I'm bringing this up now is because there's an easy chance that 2 worst records could keep her from getting a job again.
That is true. But sticking with the St. Louis.
What are you saying, Jen? What were you saying, Jen?
I was just gonna say I don't ever think it's fair when a coach, unless they're truly abysmal, like 100% abysmal, and y'all know the coach I'm thinking of.
Yes, we do.
And I'm being good.
Yes. That rule.
Thank you. I'm trying to be good. I'm trying, darn it.
Hey, you were good. You didn't cuss.
Huh? I know, right? I only saved that for the Pundits Pundit, though. But right. I feel bad when they do when coaches only get like one shot and done. You know what I mean? Like, I really do, because I feel like I don't even think David Ross should only get one shot at MLB. I really don't.
No. But
David Ross is going to follow in his predecessor's footsteps, because Joe Madden doesn't know how to build a baseball team. Rossi doesn't either.
No, I don't.
So maybe what Ross needs to do is get like a manager assistant, like a head assistant who does know how to do that. Well, and I know they're talent scouts and blah, 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 but somebody who can translate between the scouts and what Ross's vision is. A translator, if you will.
Let's make a future Disney movie out of Ross. Get him to the, start him, like, almost go back to the minors, have to learn this again and bring him back up and win it all. But learn something. Get himself a mentor. Something. Right. It's like, but get a Disney movie out of it. But all I'm bringing, I don't want. What did he say now?
JB couldn't be with us this evening. He lost to Mike Tyson by a split decision.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. He lost to Deb and by a knockout. But no.
Mama said
I don't want to see them all just be no by one. But what I'm saying is Kim Ng could easily be a one and done. That's why I'm bringing this part up now, is why I didn't like Miami when the world was getting on me because they looked like I was going after a woman, which I wouldn't. It was.
Yes, you would.
Yeah, right.
You come after me all the time.
You,
me.
Yeah. You're just like a man, though. But
I know, but then sometimes I feel like you get mad because I'm like, all right, fine, bump it, and we'll take it somewhere else.
Oh no, I get to that thing. It's like, okay, get her on the White Sox, get her on the Cubs, get her on the Cardinals, get her in those type of places. I'm more than happy for her. But they're not going to give her any of that in Miami, and she's got 2 of the worst records. Now you can have the people at the upper thing saying she's not cut for this, which was never going to be fair.
No.
And then Derek Jeter's gone, so that's her person that got her in there in the first place.
Derek Jeter's going to try to buy into another baseball team. Don't you worry your pretty little head about it.
Well,
let it be Tampa Bay. Let it be Tampa Bay. Get them a new stadium. That place is horrible.
They really need one. But staying with the St. Louis series, and here comes my rant. In Sunday's loss, we were 0-0 going to the 8th inning with 1 out and 1 on. I like Albert Pujols. I want him to chase 700. But why in the world would you pitch to Pujols when we had a base open? I don't understand it. The guy was at second, so whoever was ahead of him, all you had to do was walk Albert Pujols, and guess what? The double play is still there. You get out of the inning, you possibly go to the 9th, tie it at 0.
The Cardinals don't get multiple 215 hitters like we do, though.
That's
Come on.
true.
I mean, they are just as dangerous no matter where you get. He's just a little more dangerous right now, but they all stay dangerous.
And then for whatever reason, Ross decided, hey, Hughes, go pitch to Albert Pujols. He hit the home run, and guess the 2-run home run. Guess what? Game winner, game over. We probably could have been still playing had he not done that. It just boggles the mind. It's just
it'd be about the 57th inning by now.
Pretty much. It's frustrating. I mean, again, we've talked about situational, baseball. It's situational baseball. All you have to do is walk him. I understand why you pitched to him because he was coming off the bench cold. But again, it's Albert Pujols, who's at 695 the last time I checked. Still, you got to walk him in that situation, if you ask me.
Absolutely, but like I said, everyone on the Cardinals is dangerous. I don't care if they're on a cold streak; they're all dangerous.
Are we boring you, Jacob?
Oh, absolutely, but I love hearing myself talk. I love hearing myself talk, so I'm like, I stick around.
I know you yawn when you're not talking.
I love it. And I will do that.
Yeah, that's true.
I know, right?
So this Cubs for you was pretty easy for me this week. The thing is you have Marcus Stroman. Again, you can see his numbers, 7 innings pitched, or actually it was 12 innings pitched, 6 Ks, and he had two no decisions. Again, that's just situational baseball by the Cubs. We're used to this. We don't usually have this Cubs for you as a pitcher. So I just thought it was fitting that Stroman was our this Cubs for you because he pitched well in Toronto. He pitched well against St. Louis.
Well, if you want to know why he got 7 innings, don't you? Someone led Ross to a closet and locked him in it, and then he figured his way out, and then he got back, and then he got him out.
Yeah.
I can go all night. You're right.
I mean, this was the Stroman we wanted to see at the start of the year. We're finally seeing it now, but I mean, it's a little too late. I'm not just blaming him. I'm just blaming the whole team. The fact that we are bad. I didn't expect us to be this bad. And I know you were excited for Stroman, and I wasn't that excited. Now I'm starting to see why you were.
Yeah. No, you see, if it's done right and you don't bubble wrap your pitchers and you do all, I mean, they did it twice and it didn't work out because he takes them out early. But you get that, if you get that, that perfect form Kyle Hendricks with Marcus Stroman's arm, and you got it back to back. That's what I was thinking about with that all deal. It's like, and I do wit, and I hope he gets another year and they can see something like that,
Guys, I'm really sorry, but I've got to go to bed because this sounds childlike. It's time to go. I will talk to you guys later on.
Well, you take care of the Sonia. Sorry.
Before you leave, okay, she left. Well, that was Jen. So she's on a bunch of our shows on the network. So 3 Chicks in a Pod, which is on Tuesdays.
Are you trying to tell us something if one of them's not a chick or something?
It's late.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to assume a gender.
Exactly. I know she's on the Pundits Pundit with you.
Yeah.
She's also on the NBA and NFL carousel. So I was going to have her say where we could find her and follow her, but she checked out. But that's all right. We're going to continue. We're going to move on to Carlos Zambrano. I really enjoyed Carlos Zambrano pitch. He was one of my favorite pitchers until Jake Arrieta. The thing about Zambrano is he pitched for the Cubs from 2001 until 2011. Yeah. He had a record of 125 wins, 81 losses. Those wins, I was surprised. I didn't realize this. 15th all time in Cubs history. His ERA was 3.60.
Yeah. No. The thing about him, his great weapon was his temper, and it was also his downfall. Because one of the biggest issues with it is the fact that this wasn't John McEnroe.
Oh yeah,
at the time, this was not. John McEnroe was one of those rare ones that could get angry and they'd play better. I mean, it was a rare athlete that could do that. I mean, he has Zambrano had a lot of emotion, and he could use it. Hey, he had his no-hitter. He got his no-hitter. Was it a no-hitter or a perfect game?
It was a no-hitter on September 14th, 2008. The thing that I remember about that no-hitter is I had to actually relook at this because it was supposed to be in Houston, and I don't remember if I think there was a hurricane or something. They moved it up to Milwaukee, and what does he do? He goes out and has a no-hitter.
Well, and those are the things. And I remember that because I remember that game because I was with a buddy of mine. We went to, I believe, if I'm right, I believe that was the same game as the Carolina game. I've been to the Carolina Stadium. So it's like, I've been there, and we went to see a Bears game there. So it's like, I believe it was during that time, I believe. I have to double check. But the thing about it is his weapon was his temper. And it was fun to watch. Like, he could break a ball bat just like Bo Jackson could. Strong as a boar. Beat up Michael Barrett a couple times.
Yes, he did. Unfortunately, he got mad at a lot of people, and Michael Barrett had to take the brunt of it because
here's
he
the
was
thing
the
about
catcher.
Michael Barrett's a big guy himself, so that just tells you something. But the biggest, 3 Silver Sluggers, oh no, he could hit. But the biggest issue about it was the fact if he could have had a Phil Jackson, and let me tell you this right now, Dusty Baker's not that.
No.
Neither is Lou Piniella.
No.
These are not. I mean, Dusty was the simmered down version only because he had a son at 50 years old. I understand this part, but he was still Dusty. He still had himself a temper. That is not the case. He wasn't going to lose it under. If he would have gotten a Phil Jackson, oh my God, he could have had 200 wins.
I completely agree. And as Denzel Snipes was talking about, 3 Silver Slugger awards for him, but he could hit. I mean, we're not going to see that in Major League Baseball again, unless you're Ohtani because of the designated hitter rule. But the thing about him was his batting average was .241 for the Cubs with 23 home runs and 69 RBIs. The thing that he could do, and it's great as a pitcher, is he could drive the ball into the gap, added 26 doubles and 3 triples. Of course,
well, he was an athlete. He was an athlete.
And the Cubs traded him before the 2012 season for Chris Volstead. And I didn't look up Chris Volstead's numbers, but I don't think they were as good as Carlos Zambrano. But
I would give a good guess, yes, no. I mean, when you're a name that I forget, it's pretty done.
And the thing about it is he also, I mean, I know the Cubs weren't that great. We went to a couple of playoffs with him, 2003, 2007, and 2008. And his ERA was, he was 0-2 with an ERA of 4.34 in 5 playoff games. So that kind of shows you how okay he was in the playoffs, but he wasn't the same pitcher. But of course, we had to trade him. I mean, his temper just got in the way, and we were also trying to rebuild at that time too.
Well, you can't. The thing is, in the playoffs, I mean, you got to remember, in most of the season stuff like that, he's blowing them by. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're able to blow them by a little bit. You're able to use it. You might be able to intimidate a little more. You might be able to use an aura. You can't do any of that in the playoffs because most of the time in the playoffs, and this is the truth, most of these teams are experienced with this. It's like if Colin Cowherd says one thing correctly about the professional athletes, it's the fact that in college you can use the Cameron Indoor Stadium to intimidate people. Not anymore, but used to. Mm-hmm. But you could use these places and intimidate them when they're college. Not much, but you could get it. In the pros, it does nothing. In the pros, it does nothing. You're going from your stadium to their stadium to another. You're going on a road trip. You're doing everything. It does nothing. I mean, they just block it all out. And that's the whole thing. It's the same with the aura. You're probably scaring minor leaguers in truth. But then in the playoffs, they already have a set roster. And it's like, you're not going to intimidate anybody. That's why he doesn't have a bunch of wins on that kind of case. It's like, you can hit him. You can take your time. It's a different animal.
Exactly. And they have all the scouting reports on what he's, his tendencies on every pitch. So you'll see that in the regular season. Sure, you can blow past people like you're saying, but in the playoffs, that all goes away. And of course, the Cubs didn't really have a lot of run support for him in the playoffs. Got swept a couple of times, but I like Carlos Zambrano, and his temper got away from him, but it is what it is. So we're going to end the show here with Cub or Dub. I know it's a short show, but we have Cub or Dub. Wade Miley returns to the big club. Will he win a few games before the season ends?
Here, I mean, my reaction is exactly that. It's like, will he get past 4 2/3? This is Ross. It's like, okay, he gets past 5 and he gets lucky, but then it's like, remember, the bullpen can't hold anything. So then there goes your win, even if they do win. There goes his win. So no. And it's like I said, it's just because, I mean, getting a few wins, maybe one, if he gets himself a shutout. But even then, like I said, will he be allowed past 4 2/3?
That's the exact same reaction I had. I could say Cub because of the fact that we have 27 games, and he's going to pitch 5 or 6 games in that. But you're right. Will he be taken out in the 4th inning when he's pitching very well, or will he struggle? I have to say I'm in the middle there with you because I don't know if he's really going to get that chance to actually win those games, or will Ross say, you know what, let's go to the bullpen and let the bullpen blow it. So
let's go to that super stud Leiter Jr.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I know it was a short show here on the Cubfidential. Jacob, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and follow you?
I am on Basket Bros on Sunday nights. Monday nights during the season, Megan. Well, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm so tired. Megan. No, NBA Carousel. I'm sorry. Just go ahead. I'm sorry. Tuesday nights here at Cubfidential. The Tuesday night Cubfidential. The new Wednesday night Pundits Pundit. And then I am sometimes now on the Gauntlet. I have just got my first show on Saturday. So we had that. I am also creating a new film podcast with TJ Sampson. I mean, I will let you guys know all that, the time and everything with that. And I'm creating a movie also. So I'm pretty busy.
You have a lot of things going on. For me, you can follow me at SportsScoop1 on Twitter. On Mondays, I'm on the NBA Carousel during the season with Megan Price. Tuesdays here on the Cubfidential. Thursdays, the NFL Carousel, which starts on Thursday at 5 p.m. Mountain Time or 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm the Denver Broncos representative, and I have my blog that I write Mondays through Thursdays with podcasts on Fridays at sports-scoop.com. The podcast may get flipped around just because of the NFL season. I like to do picks. And, of course, I have
one more thing. Megan Price's NBA Carousel. And my show is called Yin and Yang. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Our show.
And then I have Under Review that I record on Fridays, and it will hit the network on Saturdays usually. So, but this has been another great show of Cubfidential. I'm sorry it's short, but it's what we had to do. Please watch all the shows we have here on the Sideline Sports Network. You heard some of them. You've got the Pundits Pundit, Basket Bros, the NBA Carousel, the NFL Carousel, as well as 3 Chicks in a Pod. So please tune in and actually subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss any of them. Have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next week to talk Cubs baseball here on the Cubfidential.
You bet. Take care.